Welcome to Chalk Talk. I'm Chris Love.
And I'm Jane Mackey.
You know, U.S. Sailing does so much to support ICSA. They get you ready for your summer job with the Level 1 and Level 2 training programs. They train the umpires and judges that officiate your championships. And maybe best of all, they've brought back Chalk Talk so that you and your friends can enjoy college sailing news all season long. U.S. Sailing has also created a special collegiate membership program. 4 years, $95. That is way lower than an adult membership. And to top it all off, Sperry Topsider is offering to outfit an entire team, whichever team comes up with more new signups for the college membership. So for goodness sakes, what are you waiting for? Go to ussailing.org/college and sign up today. And if you're one of the many who have already done it, it's time to start nagging your teammates. Your new pair of sailing shoes hangs in the balance.
It's championship season and we've got a lot of regattas to cover this weekend, so let's get started. We'll start with the interconference regattas. We had the Marciano Freeze held at MIT in Tufts and sailed in larks and fireflies. The fireflies on Sunday were filled with Easter eggs thanks to Easter Bunny Maddie Cohen. BC took the win here by 1 point, meaning I get 1 more point on the prediction scoreboard.
Boston University hosted the Women's President's Trophy down on the river, and the ladies enjoyed peeps and pineapples from Coach Brad Churchill. It was all Nisa at the top, with Jane's ladies again crushing it. Morgan Kiss and Amanda Salveson taking B Division, Marlena Fauer and Eugenia Custo-Greg almost making it a 2-division sweep in A. But I was excited to see Bowdoin's freshman Kaylee Schwitzer with Ayaka Okawa winning A Division. Is it possible Jane is somehow rigging this prediction contest with the help of her old teammates? I'll let you be the judge.
So moving on to the Buckeye, this weekend sailed at Ohio State. There was not enough breeze to sail at all on Saturday, but enough for several boats to turtle on Sunday in 3 races. Ohio State wins at home, with Buffalo second by 1 point. Now, that gives me 3 for 3 in my predictions this weekend, Chris. And how long have you been doing Chalk Talk for?
We've got weeks left to go, Jane. Don't let it go to your head. And now on to the championships. As we explained last week, each district will be hosting 3 championships over the coming weeks. This past weekend, Mesa and Cesar kicked it off. At the Mid-Atlantic Team Race Championship for the Prosser Trophy, the berths are what we expected, but not the results. St. Mary's not only qualifies, but sweeps the Final Four round to take the championship. Georgetown, who has been ranked number 1 for most of the season, finishes 3rd. We've seen the winds of change in Mesa before, but here it is. 3 teams, now seemingly even, finishing only 1 race apart from each other at the championship. Cannot wait to see these guys at Nationals.
Moving on to Cesar Coed Champs, again we get our top 5 qualifying teams correct, but not the winner. Miami hosts this event and beats out Charleston to take the 2012 conference title at home. We don't see this in many conferences, but this regatta was completed after only 6 races sailed on Saturday. Miami's David Hernandez kills it in B Division, scoring a 2-1-1-2-1-1, and Nick Voss is 3rd in A, but only 3 points behind Charleston's Mac Mace and USF's Will Stocky, who tie for 1st in the division. Note that all of these guys sailed with multiple crews to handle the variable wind, topping out at 17 knots.
It's a good weekend. Warm, good breeze.
Couldn't ask for much better.
No, you can't.
It was fun. It was good sailing. It was warm and windy, so.
Warm and windy. Do you feel that there's a true home port advantage going on here, or?
Not really, because
we sail in a different spot than we normally sail, so it's a lot different.
In the competition?
it was great. It was one of our best districts yet in terms of the breeze, and it was close racing. It was a lot of fun.
Thanks for video shot by Nikki Bruno and edited by Nicole Pope. To check out the full version, go to sailingcanes.org.
We really appreciate that video. It looked like a fun regatta. And now we continue with our weekly series, Better Know a District. This week, it's the Northwest Intercollegiate Sailing Association. Well, we're so glad to have the conference commissioner from the Northwest on the show with us today. Kyle Eaton, welcome.
Thanks for having me, Chris.
So tell us, what part of the country does your district encompass and what schools are a part of it?
Yeah, we're obviously in the northwest part of the country. We're the smallest conference in the country with only 9 schools. We've got a mix of private and public schools from Oregon, Washington, and University of British Columbia.
And tell us, what is sailing in the Northwest like? Describe some of your venues.
Yeah, most of Northwest College sailing takes place inland on lakes and rivers. None of the schools have an on-campus facility, so we're usually sailing out of a sailing club or a yacht club of some sort.
And of course, I know I was at Nationals last year, and I think a lot of visiting teams got to see as well the Columbia River Gorge. Pretty unique thing that the sailors are going to get to enjoy this coming weekend. Tell us about that and how that fits into your program up there.
Yeah, the venue is great. It's again not a venue that any school has direct access to, but we're given the venue by the Columbia Gorge Racing Association to sail one or two events each season. It's usually in the late spring, a real fun place with big breeze and lots of current.
And with only 9 schools in the district, it must be a pretty tight community. Tell us, what's the vibe like? What's the culture of Northwest sailing?
Yeah, I think the small aspect of Northwest College sailing is what makes it unique and a lot of fun for our sailors. I know personally, coming out of Northwest College sailing, that my best friends from college were sailors on other teams, and still to this day are probably my best friends. The whole district is run by students. All of our programs are student-led and student-organized. So the sailors have a real hands-on feeling with the sailing that they're doing. They put together the regattas. They organize the volunteers. They make the sailing happen.
So give us an idea of kind of where the conference is at right now in terms of health and growth, and what are sort of the objectives for this year and the upcoming years.
Yeah, I think the conference is as large as it's been. We're starting to see teams well over 20 or 30 members, and we're just trying to grow college sailing in the Northwest, find more schools, and get more sailors out. Our events are getting larger and larger each season, which is really exciting.
All right, and now's your chance to give us a plug. If you had to talk someone into coming up to one of the Northwest schools to go to school and sail for one of the teams, what would you be your pitch?
I think, like I said, the friendly, fun environment. In the Northwest, you get to make college sailing what you want of it. You don't have a coach telling you when you sail and when you don't. And if you're a good leader and a strong organizer, you can take any Northwest College sailing program to the front of the conference and off to nationals.
Well, thanks so much for joining us, and hope to bump into you out on the race course again.
Yeah, we'll see you soon.
Looking ahead to this weekend, we'll start with the interconference regattas. First up is the Rainier Cup, held at the Gorge, the site of last year's National Championships. This is the only interconference regatta to be held in the northwestern region. And it looks like all of the district will be there, plus a few others.
Coast Guard has the Emily Wick Trophy. Very NISA dominated here with the teams. A great preview for next week's New England Women's Championship at Boston College.
I'm still getting to know some of the districts, but Washington looks strong, so I'm going to go with them for the Rainier. For the women's, I've been picking Yale for the last couple weekends, and they finally got a win. I think it'll be someone else this weekend, with strong competition from Dartmouth and Brown. The last time they went head-to-head, it was Brown.
For Rainier Cup, I'm going to have to go with the old standby, UW. And at the women's event, so impressed by Yale last week, I'm sure they can repeat this week. I'm taking Yale.
We have 6 championships this weekend. 2 are for team racing, the other 4 are Coed Champs. Those Coed Champs are going to fill 25 of the 36 semi-finals berths for nationals.
Starting us off, it's the Mesa Coed Championship for 8 berths to semifinals, hosted by Hobart William Smith. Now, with so many berths available, you've got to expect Hobart at home, plus Georgetown, St. Mary's, ODU, Navy, and SUNY, the teams that we talk about all the time, to pretty easily qualify for the top 6 spots. But the last 2 spots are going to be harder to guess. I'm looking at Washington College, Cornell, UPenn, Virginia, and Fordham.
Looking back at the fall, Washington College has been the most consistent. With these teams, we haven't seen a lot of them this year, and even when we have, it's been team racing.
I would guess Washington College is going to pick up one of those spots, and the other team, it's going to be close, but I think UPenn.
Yeah, Chris, all those teams have been a bit up and down. I'm going to go with Cornell. Next up, we have the MCSA Coed Champs at Michigan. Wisconsin and Michigan should have an easy time qualifying, but vying for the next 3 spots, we have Minnesota, Northwestern, University of Illinois Chicago, and Notre Dame.
Very hard to predict here, but I would guess Minnesota, Northwestern, and then to pick up that last spot, University, Illinois, Chicago, with Notre Dame just a little bit further behind.
It's hard not knowing a lot about these districts. UIC did have a really great regatta at the Timmy Yangston. I think I'm going to stick with you on these predictions, Chris.
Next, we've got the NISA Coed Champs, also for 8 berths to semifinals. And it's a repeat of this fall's ACCs with Harvard as the host and Charles River in Boston, the venue. Always difficult and exciting conditions, but these teams are used to it. Yale, Roger Williams, Boston College, and Dartmouth were clearly the fastest teams in the fall and look great this spring. Harvard, MIT, Tufts, and Brown are the next, with Harvard and MIT both enjoying the home water advantage. I look at some of these other teams here, Conn, BU, Vermont, URI, Bowdoin, and Coast Guard. And I think they all have a shot at picking up one of these last spots, but there's a pretty definitive line there between the teams I first mentioned and these teams here. So unless something funny happens, and of course that could happen on the Charles River, but I think those top 8 teams are pretty well defined as being the top 8, and I'd be surprised to see anyone else break in.
Chris, that sounds pretty spot on. Now moving on to the Cesar Coed Champs hosted by University of Texas for 4 berths at semifinals. Interestingly enough, all of the champs for this district will be hosted at the site of Nationals for 2012. So they'll be getting a lot of extra practice in at the Nationals venue.
It's tough because we haven't seen all their best teams at the same place in a long time. But I'm going to take UT, Texas A&M Galveston, and Tulane for the top 4 spots.
I'm going to take a chance here and go with Colorado.
Also this weekend, Stanford hosts the Pacific Coast Team Race Championship for 1 berth to the ICSA APS Team Race National Championship. And that 1 berth is unfortunate for most of the teams in Pacific Coast because Stanford is almost certain to pick up that berth. They have a nationally ranked, frequently traveling, frequently competing with the top level team racers, whereas the rest of the district really doesn't get a chance to do a whole lot of it. Some talented sailors out there, but Stanford is probably going to roll over this one. Also sailing their team race championship this weekend is Cesar at Charleston for 2 berths to nationals. Now Charleston, again, I'd be surprised if they don't win at home. They've got the top-ranked team racing team in the district, and they're pretty well together this season. But that other berth should be really interesting. We're looking at Eckerd, Florida, Miami, and USF. Now USF has the best team racing results of the group, but look at what Miami did last weekend. They've got 2 boats that we know are really, really fast. And I think at a tricky venue like Charleston, where there can either be big breeze or a lot of shifts, keeping the boats moving forward through the water is what's going to get it done. So I am cautiously taking Miami for that 2nd berth with USF not far behind.
I'm sticking with the team race track record here. I'm going with USF.
Well, whoever picks up those 3 berths to team race nationals will be sure to face a lot of the teams on this list. It's the SailOneDesign.com ICSA team race rankings. We've got Yale moving into the top spot and Georgetown being punished for their 3rd place finish at the Prosser, moving from 1st to 5th. You can see the full list with the coach's comments over at SailOneDesign.com. And now finally we've got U.S. Sailing's College Sailor of the Week. David Hernandez and Chelsea Carlson from University of Miami for their stunning performance at Cesar Champs to score just 8 points in 6 races. This tops off a 5-0 season for the Hurricanes, a club team with an all-volunteer coaching staff. Congratulations to Hernandez, Carlson, and the entire University of Miami sailing team.
I don't know, it's pretty breezy today, pretty shifty. We sailed here a lot, so I guess home court advantage helped. Shifty, had to stay on the shifts, but other than that, it was good sailing, nice breeze.
Good boat speed.
Well, that's going to do it for us. Good luck to everyone competing for their championships this weekend. We'll see you back here next week on Chalk Talk.